Hi everyone, how are you? It's Jennifer Mastery again. I just wanted to do a little video, and what I wanted to talk about today was the ego. So everybody has heard of the ego and how it gets in our way and how it shapes, I guess, our form of thinking. Our ego sometimes gets into our readings and sometimes gets into our thoughts, many often than not. Also, our ego can play a huge role in, I guess, what jobs we take or what kind of person we become. So the ego is always there, and it's not always a good thing. So the one thing I want to discuss is sometimes when I'm doing my readings, the one thing I notice is my ego tries to always come in, and it's that like evil, I guess, little negative voice is what you want to call it. That's like, oh, well, maybe you're not giving them enough information. Maybe you should give them more information. Maybe you should keep on going, whatever it is. I'm going to give you an example. So a couple of days ago, I was on a phone call with somebody, and one of their relatives was coming through, and the woman didn't know who I was or what my job, my gift is at that time. So I'm just speaking with her. She's a very nice woman, and all of a sudden, like I said, this spirit is coming through, and so my higher self is telling me, you have to bring the spirit through for whatever reason. You have to let this woman know that this spirit is here. So I was like, okay. So the first thing I do is I said to the client, I said, I said, I got to tell you, I said, I'm an NG reader. I said, and I'm picking up something. Do you mind if I share what I am, picking up? And the woman's like, oh, sure, of course, that's perfectly fine. Share what, you have. So long story short, it was her mother. It was her mother coming through, and it was funny because when the mom came through in the first point, I wasn't in the heart center, and I could feel it because, um, first of all, the message was not very clear. It wasn't clear, and then I shifted. I actually brought myself into the heart center, and then as soon as I did that, I noticed that the woman was sitting on a recliner and she was knitting. And that's what I said to the client. I said, this woman has come through. I don't know who she is, but I see this woman sitting on a recliner and she's knitting. And she goes, oh, it's funny you say that because that's my mother. And she goes, and I've been really thinking about her a lot. And I've been, talking with my kids, about how much I missed her and so forth. And so, and I was like, oh, okay, well, just letting you know, she's telling me that she's with you. So she wants you to know that she's with you. She's here and she's safe, and she's with you. And then all of a sudden, the spirit starts telling me that, she's there every time the woman cooks. Her essence is there. And then the woman's like, oh, well, my mother loved to cook. I said, well, she's there with you and you're cooking. I guess, she's enjoying what you're doing. And then lastly, the spirit just tells me that, just shows me a cemetery for whatever reason. And, in our conversation and ending, I did tell the client, the woman on the phone, that spirit was also bringing through a cemetery. And I did not know why. I was just bringing the message across. Um, so she was like, that's funny you say that as well. She's like, because I've been saying to myself, I have to go to the cemetery. I want to visit my mother, blah, blah, blah. So long story short is the client was very happy with, what I shared with her. And at one point in time, she was a little shocked, was digesting what I was giving her. And I realized at that point that, I was giving her what she needed. I was giving her what spirit told me to give her, and that was all. If I would let my ego come through and just kept on being the hot shot and just kept on, trying to get more and more information, which the information was not coming through, it kind of stopped right there. You understand? So there wasn't much more to give. That's all there was. And and now I realize, looking back on this situation, that the reason why the information was so short was because, first of all, she didn't sign up for a reading, number one. Number two is I was asking for her permission to give her a reading. And number three, she didn't really know who I was. And number four, her energy wasn't open. She wasn't prepared to have this reading. Okay, it was on the fly. It was something that just came. Okay, so my point is that I'm trying to share with everyone is ego. Okay, we cannot let the ego come in. I don't care if we're sitting there and we're doing a meditation. I don't care if we're doing a reading. I don't care if you're just going through your daily life. You have to check that ego where it goes. You know, you have to really bring it back. Yes, our egos want to be loved. Our egos want to be cared for. They want to be in the picture, and they want to, you know, sit there and say, hey, I know this and I know that. But, you know, sometimes we don't need all that. Sometimes we don't need to do all that. Sometimes you just need to sit back, you know, give what is needed. Okay, like I said, Spirit was giving that client what she needed, and if I would have gave any more, it probably would have been a shit show. Let's be honest with each other. It just would not have been good. So in the end, I'm just telling everybody, I just want to share this experience with everyone, because I just think it is so important that we listen to Spirit, we listen to what is given to us, and we tell people generally, you know, be as authentic as possible, giving the message, okay? And like I said, and not letting that ego come through, because, you know, in the end, the ego wants to run the show, and we cannot let this ego run the show. So that is like one of my big lessons I've learned, and now I'm learning, you know, different energies for somebody who's coming to my reading versus somebody who is, you know, getting a reading on the fly, not expecting it. Their energy is a little bit more closed, okay? I find that their energy is much more closed. And it's not our job either to even go into that energy, because it's none of our business at the end of the day. Like I said, the only reason why I actually, you know, gave this information out was because my higher self, all of a sudden, it's like clicking in and saying, listen, you have to give out this information. It's very important that you share this information with this individual for whatever reason you need to share this. So like I said, I acted on pure sense and pure intuition at that time, but I let my ego fall to the side. And that is the biggest thing that you can do as a reader, as a person, is just let that ego go. And like I said, when it comes to jobs, sometimes, you know, we're sitting somewhere and our ego comes out and says, oh, yeah, I would like to have that job position. You know, think about how everybody's going to view me, or think about how much money I'm going to make, or think about the status that I'm going to get from this job. But in the end, is this job really, you know, warming your heart? Is this job really resonating with you? Maybe not. So that's what I'm talking about, ego. We can all think ego in different ways and how it affects us. So thank you for listening. I just had to share that. Please subscribe, and I will talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye.